Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oscar Buzz, episode 20. Um, it's not that big of an
Yeah,
accomplishment.
no.
I'm Trevor.
Maybe
Joined
we'll
as always.
celebrate when we get to 50. We'll celebrate when we get to 50.
Maybe. I'm Trevor, joined here by Thomas. Thomas, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Sorry if my voice starts sound a bit croaky at any point throughout the episode. Not been feeling great all weekend, but still excited to be talking about Oscars.
Absolutely. Don't have that much news. Should be definitely a shorter show. But should still be a fun time. So I want to kick it off with some news that just broke last night, which is about the USC Scripter Awards. So the USC Scripter Awards, they award the best in adaptation, like film adaptations of literature. So it's been a very good predictor of adapted screenplay. Now the last 2 or 3 years, it's diverged from the Oscars. However, like it had a run of like 10 to 15 years before that where it
Okay,
predicted adapted screenplay perfectly.
right.
In the last 2 to 3 years, like we had The Father upset over Nomadland, which was surprising.
Yeah.
And they went with Nomadland, I believe. And then the year before that, I want to say they went with The Irishman instead of Jojo Rabbit, which at that point I believe
Okay.
was the front runner. So they've still been fairly good predictors. This year Coda wasn't eligible since it was adapted from another film, not a book. So
Yeah.
I believe the tragedy of Macbeth took its place in adapted, I want to say.
Okay. Okay.
Um, but the winner was not The Power of the Dog, and it was instead The
Ooh.
Lost Daughter.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean that has sort of dropped to number 3 in my mind in this category.
Below Coda,
it
yeah.
still has it still has an outside shot, like very outside shot. But I think if it was to win, it needed to get into picture because
Yeah.
I doubt they're going to give a winner for adapted screenplay in something that isn't in picture. That just seems odd to me.
So the last time a film won a screenplay prize without a picture nomination was, I believe, it was Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet was the last
Okay,
film to win screenplay without a picture nomination. Granted, that was in a year of 5.
okay, yeah. So I don't see them give like Coda possibly because they might want to share the love. Lost Daughter, I just
Yeah,
don't see that. Whilst the screenplay was fairly good, I personally think the Power of a Dog screenplay was better. The Coda screenplay was better.
yep,
So for a personal preference, that's not going to be my choice. Even Drive My Car, I think has like you could argue has more of a chance than Lost Daughter.
yeah,
Again, if they do want to, because if they're not going for it director and they're not going for it for picture, they might want to give it something outside of international feature, and screenplay might be the place to do that. But equally, Power of a Dog, clear frontrunner in this category. And I don't
yeah.
think this award has hurted Power of a Dog.
I think it opens up a dialogue about something else winning, because like prior, I mean, it was doing like Chloe Zhao level sweeps, where she did in
Okay.
director with this and screenplay, just amongst like critics groups and everything. Like it dropped like the Gotham and Indie Spirits, but like it wasn't eligible for those. Like almost everything that it was eligible for, it won.
Okay.
It wasn't 100%, but like it was pretty close. So. Uh, it's weird to see something not The Power of the Dog winning adapted screenplay, especially at like one of the bigger predictors. Um, so an interesting pick with The Lost Daughter. Um, the one thing I was thinking about, like, does this open up a conversation around Coda potentially pulling out an upset? Because like it shows the vulnerability of Power of the Dog, like.
Yeah, it does show the vulnerability of Power of a Dog. However, I think Coda is fairly far removed from the best picture conversation. I don't think Coda has much of a shot to win. I do think at this point, probably the 7 or 8, I would have to
Oh
see
no, I'm
all of
saying
them.
adapted screenplay. Coda could win
Oh, an
adapted
adapted
screenplay.
screenplay. I mean, I doubt it. I doubt it. I just think Power of a Dog has such a firm grasp over this category. that at this point it's going to be hard to beat it. Like
I
I'd say director for Jane Campion is like the strongest power of a dog win. Like
yeah,
nothing is taking out that. Something
no,
could take it out, and that did, but equally, it's definitely up there as one of its strongest categories to win.
yeah. I'm not going to be changing my prediction from Power of the Dog
Mm.
for DGA or WGA. Or like Intel DGA or WGA, and even then, Power of the Dog isn't eligible for WGA. So like,
Yeah,
I'm still
so
probably going to stick with Power of the Dog no matter what. I it's just interesting. Like if we see this repeat potentially, at like BAFTA maybe it could
yeah,
be
BAFTA could be an option, could be an opportunity to again see Power of a Dog weaknesses,
yeah,
and yeah, the WGA ineligibility that does hurt it a bit as well because that is another precursor that just
right.
won't go to Power of a Dog. So
It'll go to Coda or the Lost Daughter likely. So
yeah,
that's just another way for one of those films to get momentum. So
yeah, there are definitely pathways in which we see another film take home this category.
yeah, as of now, I think everybody should like don't panic about this. Stick with
No,
Power
no,
of the Dog, but equally
yeah,
keep an eye
just
on this
have it in the
category.
back of your mind.
Because
Have it in the back of your mind.
yes, because I mean like original's very open. Original's like very very open. So
Yeah, yeah,
we'll see what happens here. Um, but let's move on to Oppenheimer. Speaking of Kenneth Branagh, he hasn't played Hamlet in this one, but he has joined the cast, and we got our first look at the film as far as imagery. We got the poster for it. It looks cool, a bit
yeah,
basic, but
yeah.
it
But
looks fine.
you can't ever. I find you can't ever tell much from these like first looks.
Yeah,
They're sort of they're there, but equally you can't gauge much of what the film is actually in itself going to be like. Because like you look at marketing from like the Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad looked amazing. Oh sorry, not the Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad from 2016.
yeah,
All the marketing, all the first looks and posters and that kind of thing looked amazing. The film itself terrible. Same with a lot of the DCU, actually. A lot of the marketing on those films are very, very good, but they actually turn out to be dreadful. So
yep,
you can never really gauge much of an understanding of what the film's quality will be like from these first looks. But I mean, it looks pretty cool. It looks okay.
yeah. I mean, again, I'm excited about Brandon joining. That will be fun, but like, we're never gonna be able to tell that much from a
No,
teaser. Um, so overall, I mean, I'm looking forward to this. It's Nolan. I'm not the biggest Nolan fan in the world, but equally, like, I enjoy a lot of his work, so I'm here for it. And we'll have to see. I'm excited for a teaser trailer. That's when I'll like
yeah,
actually like. Granted, again, like you said with Suicide Squad, it can still be misleading, but like that's when I'll actually try to start figuring out this film's Oscars potential.
yeah. It is also important to note that the only name on the poster is Killian Murphy. So
Yeah,
this it looks like it might be like just a vehicle for him, really. Like the cast is looking pretty big, pretty stacked so far, but there is clearly a focus on Killian Murphy, which may suggest that he could potentially be in the best actor race come
yeah.
whenever this film is released.
He could be going lead, and then it's probably a supporting ensemble.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, has Nolan ever had nominated performers before? Did, didn't he get
Um,
nominations for Memento?
no, he didn't. I mean, Heath Ledger did,
Heath Ledger,
but
yeah, you're right.
I'm fairly sure that's the only one he's ever had.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll figure more of that out while we continue talking.
Yes.
Um, because Cillian Murphy's never been nominated, so I'm just curious to see how much in the club everything is.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, moving on. So James Mangold is going to direct a Buster Keaton biopic. This is cool. I like this. Um, James, I'm assuming this is what he'll be doing post Indy 5. And Buster Keaton, one of, the great comedians of, the 1920s, 1930s, pioneered like the slapstick genre. Kind of was playing second fiddle to Charlie Chaplin at the time, but like still incredibly, like massively influential.
Yeah.
Thoughts on this film?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of James Mangold. Ford vs Ferrari, one of my favorite films of 2019. Logan, obviously, everyone's talked about how Logan is amazing, and yeah, it is. And obviously, I'm excited to see what he does with Indiana Jones 5. Bit skeptical of what that movie will actually be like, but I'm excited to see his involvement. And yeah, just seeing James Mangold do more stuff, cool. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I mean, does sound interesting, like, because I don't really know much about Buster Keaton, as you say. I know a lot more about Charlie Chaplin, and I would like to learn more about who Buster Keaton was. And yeah, James Mangold seems like the Ford vs Ferrari, good biopic. He's clearly well versed in directing biopics, so hopefully this will be along the same veins as that.
100%. I mean, even looking at like something like Walk the Line.
Yes, he directed that as well, didn't he?
Which,
Yeah.
yeah, which was a pretty big Oscars contender. It won whatever her name was, and I can't remember who that was. The lead actress got a nomination. I can't. Was it Reese Witherspoon?
It could have been. I don't remember.
And then Walking was also picked. He picked up a nomination there. So yeah, I mean, like this is gonna be a big contender. I at least think so. Whoever's playing Buster Keaton is probably looking at being in the conversation for a nomination.
Yeah, probably. You presume so. I mean, whenever a biopic is announced, you often just assume that the person playing the famous figure will be in contention for these awards, because a lot of the time, the Oscars, other award circles, they liked seeing people play famous historical figures. So, you know.
Unless you're Kristen Stewart.
Yes, yeah. But the Oscars liked it. The Oscars liked it.
Yeah, at least. All right. Just still very salty about that Segmas. Makes no sense. Jennifer Hudson, really?
Yeah.
All right. Aziz Ansari. I think I probably messed that up.
Yeah, I'll leave that one up to you as well.
Stand-up comedian. He's going to make his directorial debut with an adaptation of Being Mortal. He will star alongside Bill Murray. So Being Mortal is a novel from like early 2010s. The novel is about like a like medicine, I think, and it's like an introspective thing about like life and like what medicine does to. I'm not really sure how it's going to be adapted into a film unless they do like some Tree of Life stuff, which I don't really see a stand-up comedian doing in their directorial debut. But
No,
I don't know. We'll see what this is. I haven't read the book. The book addresses end-of-life care, hospice care, and contains this doctor's reflections and personal stories about like being the doctor, like and speaking to people at like the end of their life. So like, I like this concept. I like Bill Murray. Not the biggest fan of Aziz Ansari, but okay. I guess I don't know. I don't know really how to feel about this.
So I liked the character he played in Parks and Recreation. I thought he's a very funny comedic actor. You know, I'm not too familiar with the idea of stand-up comedians turning into filmmakers. The only one that really comes to mind is Bo Burnham. But yeah, exactly. That feels like it may be an anomaly. Him directing such a great film on its first outing. I'm sure if you look, there are countless examples of this not working. You know, it'll be interesting to see his chemistry with Bill Murray. That seems like a sort of dynamic I'd like to see on screen. Yeah, I mean, since we don't know anything about his directing style, there's not much to talk about with this story, but it could be interesting. It could be interesting.
All right, next piece of news. Stevie Spiels. He's
Stevie
doing another one.
Spiels.
We thought that maybe he would round out the career on The Fablemans, his autobiographical. Nah, he's doing more. And he's just playing with some toys at this point.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
is doing Bullit, about the character Frank Bullit, from the film Bullit. It's a Steve McQueen film. No, not the 12 Years a Slave guy. Um, the white Steve McQueen,
yeah, yeah.
the actor from the 60s. And I am not familiar with this film. I didn't have time. I was going to try to watch it before the show. I did not have time to watch it. But from what I've heard, it's just basically a massive car chase, like, late 60s action drama, like almost like Dirty Harry in a sense. Like, just like, I mean, Steven Spielberg doing car chases. Yes, please. Like,
Yeah,
I'm here for this.
yeah. I mean, Jewel, it's like one of his first films, was just basically an extended car chase, and that is
Yeah,
a movie, and that's
100%.
a pretty damn good film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I would be skeptical, but I saw West Side Story last year, and he's still got it. The man has still got it, and there is
Yes.
no denying that fact. That's why The Fablemans, I'm very anticipating that film, and that's why this one just add it to the watch list because you know at this point, yeah, he is making films that he wants to make. Like The Fablemans is basically a biography. Yeah, that seems like something he wanted to make. West Side Story again seems like something that he just wanted to make, and this one as well seems like just something that he, because and he can at this point. He's had a
Yeah.
long, illustrious career. Do what you like.
Yes. 100%. Like this is gonna be fun. Oscar's potential for this, like, it's probably just, like, I mean, editing maybe. Like, I don't see this getting a picture
No,
thing.
no.
But like the original film has a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes. Um, it's about a senator who is aiming to take down a mob boss with help of testimony from the criminal's hothead brother, who is in protective custody in San Francisco under the watch of Police Lieutenant Frank Bullit. When a pair of mob hitmen enter the scene, Bullit follows their trail through a maze of complications and double crosses. This thriller includes one of the most famous car chases ever filmed.
Okay, there you go.
So, like, yeah, sure. Like, sure, Stevie. Like you said, just do whatever you want. Like, honestly, just do whatever you want. That's cool with me. All right. Who do you think is like the modern Steve McQueen who would play him? Because like
Oh,
if
I
this
don't
was
know.
remade 10, 20 years ago, I would have said Harrison Ford.
Yeah, he's way too old now.
He's way too old
Way
now,
too
though.
old.
Especially
Yeah.
with like the Spielberg connection. But yeah, no, he's too old now. Um, I don't know who it would be though.
Yeah, I don't know. You have to think about that one.
Yeah.
But no. I don't
Um,
know. There aren't really any really sort of modern action stars in a way
Tom
that
Holland.
you had back. Yeah, he's probably a bit young. Probably a bit young.
So okay, I was just checking. So Bullet, the original film, was nominated for 2 Oscars, and it was editing and sound.
Okay.
And I could
Okay.
easily see those repeating.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, it was got 5 BAFTA noms, including director, supporting actor, cinematography, editing, and then sound. So, yeah, this could
So
definitely 100%. Like, if you take that and then give it to Spielberg, this is going to be something to look out for. Probably 2023, which means that we're
I
getting
would imagine
Spielberg
so.
movies back to back to back.
Yeah, back to back to back. Yes,
I'm
there you
not
go.
complaining about at all.
No, no.
um, all right, let's talk about a film that's coming out this year that has Oscars potential, which is The Banshees of Inisherin. This is from director Martin McDonagh, who you may know as the director of Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which got its share of Oscars nominations. Also, of In Bruges, which picked up
Yeah.
a screenplay nom, which is such a fun movie to get like an Oscar.
Yeah,
nomination.
yeah, it is.
Like
It
that's
is.
very cool that they nominated that for screenplay. Like that's just
Yeah,
fun.
the Oscars were cool back then.
Oh, 10 years ago. Now we have
Yeah,
Oscars cheer moment. Um,
yeah,
so, um, but In Bruges picked up screenplay nom, Three Billboards, won Frances McDormand and Sam Rockwell Oscars. Um,
yeah,
amongst picking up plenty of other nominations, including picture, screenplay. Like it got quite a few. And his debut short film, Six Shooter, won the Oscar for live action short.
yeah,
So this man has a history with the Oscars. Yet again, making a film. This one starring Brendan Gleeson, Colin Farrell, Barry Keegan, and Kerry Condon. Um, so basically, he's trying to say, like UK. Um,
yeah.
and is he what part of the UK is he from?
I presume he's from either Ireland or Northern Ireland
Ireland.
with
Yeah,
surname
Ireland.
Ireland. Okay.
Okay. I was going to say Ireland, but then I wanted to make sure. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, very Irish in cast, like very UK cast.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and this is going to be Searchlight. It's been scheduled for October 21st. The premise is a conflict between two friends arise when one of them abruptly ends their friendship with alarming consequences for both. So this definitely seems more akin to In Bruges versus Three Billboards, obviously.
yeah,
Um, but like, I think that we have to look at him for a screenplay nomination because he's been very consistent with that.
yeah. And
Um,
he got it for a film like In Bruges, which typically isn't really the sort of film you expect to
he's in the club. He
be at
has
the
an
Oscars.
Oscar.
Exactly, but he got the screenplay for that. So and now he's just even more in the club. So you'd expect this film to be a pretty large hit with Oscar voters. The release date is like okay. It could be
It's
worse. It
Searchlight.
could be better.
It's Searchlight, though.
Exactly. It's Searchlight, so it's got good production behind it. And October 21st. It's sort of just a bit before we really see all the Oscar contenders come out. But equally, it's all right. It's a better release date than say August or September.
Right, right. It's not getting like the Tammy Faye treatment,
No, exactly.
or like the Coda treatment.
No,
So
yeah,
yeah, I sure. Like, I mean, whatever. I'm here for
yeah,
this. I think that this could definitely hit with the Oscars for sure, for sure.
for sure. Yeah,
Um, all right, now this thing. So this is more annoying than anything. So Sean Penn, he went to Ukraine and he's making a documentary about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Um, obviously, we can address this briefly. That's sucks. Like it's Russia's, it sucks.
yeah,
Heart goes out to everybody in Ukraine because this sucks, and also everybody in Russia who's not supporting this because there's plenty of people in Russia who are not not very happy with them. You know, their leader doing some stuff that
no,
isn't
yeah,
it's questionable. So
yeah,
heart goes out to everybody there. Just a terrible situation. And Sean Penn, why? Like, why are you like?
yeah.
This
Too
feels so
soon. Too
insensitive.
soon. Yeah,
Like, I just I put it on here because like Sean Penn, like previous, Oscar winner, I believe he won for Milk, I think, in acting, and like he's always in the conversation. He's making a documentary that seems like the type of documentary that the Oscars would gush over, but like this is it's like this shouldn't be happening. Like
no, no.
the
It's way too soon. Like way too
while
soon.
it's
We
happening,
don't
more
even
people
know
are
how
like
to. Yeah,
dying
we
right
don't
now.
even know what's gonna happen. Like they invaded what this past week,
Yeah,
so
a
we
couple
we
days
don't
ago.
know. Like maybe it's going to be one of those like experimental documentaries where the story isn't told until like the story is actually told during it, so the filmmakers and everyone behind it don't exactly know what's going to happen, but equally
Also for a
it feels
situation
like
like this, to like
yeah it's too big of an event. It's too big of a global affair to have Sean Penn as well. Like why
really
there's no need for it.
come on, Sean. You like
Yeah,
I know what he's trying to accomplish with this. I just that's it's a yikes from me.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yikes. Yeah.
Something else that isn't quite as big of a yikes, but also kind of a yikes, is the Oscars cheer moment nominees. I don't know if we're getting nominees for fan favorite. Probably not because they
No.
just Spider-Man. But like, would would you like to hear the Oscars cheer moment nominees, Thomas?
I have already heard them, but you can read them out for
Okay,
the show.
yeah. So it is the Spidey team up from Spider-Man No Way Home, at Speed Force from Zack Snyder's Justice League,
Yeah. Yeah.
then Avengers Assemble from Avengers Endgame, then like I think it's the end of Dreamgirls. I haven't seen
Yeah.
Dreamgirls. Um, and then Neo dodging the bullets in the Matrix. So I guess this was open to every year.
Yep. I
I
assume it's just every single film moment ever, and but
These are
that's
the
why it doesn't
five.
make sense because they've
Like
chosen two from 2021.
right,
So
they've chosen two from 2021. Also, the oldest film is 1999 because I guess that's the year that movies were invented. Like,
yeah.
I,
Yeah.
also Zack
Like
Snyder's Justice League got it. Like, I thought we decided that was ineligible.
yeah.
Like,
Apparently not. Apparently not.
I I
And
don't
also
know.
the
Like,
fact, like, there must be some from like Star Wars or something like, um,
right.
there are other stuff like Dreamgirls, really, really, The
Like,
Matrix, really, you know, two
I
MCU films. I'm a big fan of the MCU, but two
for
cheer
the best.
moments,
Like, we're saying these are like the best film
yeah,
moments of all time.
and two are from the MCU.
Like I don't know like some selections that I would like to throw out, and this is also going to be biased just personally, but like you could put out like Luke blowing up the Death Star at the end of 1977
Exactly.
Star Wars. This is a personal pick, but I would throw out the ending of It's a Wonderful Life, um singing like whatever the New Year's song is. I shared all the quantity and then what else could you put in there? What else? You could throw in like the ending of Return of the King. You shall bow to
Yeah,
no one. Or whatever the line is. I'm paraphrasing. Um like there's so many incredible like I mean one that I would again it's more recent, but I would throw out like Parasite.
there was
With
no way Parasite was getting in.
I understand, but like I would say just like the final sequence of Parasite at the birthday party as just like uh
Yeah,
a thing all to itself. I guess that isn't really a cheer moment, so I guess I can take that back.
but
You're really cheering about that.
no,
The point
no,
is that there are plenty
yeah,
of better choices than Zack Snyder's Justice League and two MCU movies.
yeah,
Like I mean, go even older, like throw in like I, I don't know. This is
I
like
don't know.
Casablanca. Throw in like
Yeah,
I mean like there's so many great stuff, and this is what you've this
yeah.
is these are the five. I just
I mean, it just comes across as confused. Like they decided it was 2021 films only, and then midway through were like, well, we'll add in every single movie moment ever, and
and then came up
this
with
is what ended up with. It just screams of recency bias, like absolutely
oh
screams
yeah
of it.
yeah.
Um, and yeah,
I
it's
mean
just weird. Yeah,
another thing that another moment that you could throw in here. I haven't seen the film, but I know the iconic shot of Shawshank Redemption.
yeah, of him in the
The
rain.
rain. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, that could be a thing. I think you could argue for like, I mean, Raiders of the Lost Ark with like this. Like, there's so much
even like
amazing stuff.
Harry Potter defeating Voldemort. Even though I'm not a big fan of those films, that was a
Yeah,
pretty good moment.
it
You
was.
know,
It was like I just the fact that you've come up with this. Like, as far as cheer moment, I think that the Avengers assembling an Endgame makes sense. Like, even though it's like I wouldn't put that in like my top five film moments of all time. That
no,
was definitely a cheer moment in my theater. I think that
yeah,
that works.
yeah,
Um, but then to have two MCU moments, like just pick one. And then also Zack
yeah.
Snyder specifically, like, were people really cheering about that? I mean, I
I
don't.
mean,
What's
they
so bad?
weren't because, like, I don't know about you, I've never cheered at a film when I'm at home. Like, no one actually saw Zack Snyder's Justice League in the theatre. There may have
The
been some
closest,
screenings
the,
somewhere,
the
but
closest I have come to cheering, was when I watched 12 Angry Men at 2 a.m. in the morning and was very tired but also excited. So when he does have you seen 12 Angry Men?
I have seen 12 Angry Men.
Okay. When he does the thing where he like measures it out all in the room, I went because I was very
Yeah,
tired. Um, which
okay.
that was kind of a cheer. I like laughed and did a weird
Yeah,
laugh. Um,
yeah,
but like it's a very rare circumstance. But I would throw that in
yeah,
over like half these. So
yeah, yeah, easily. Yeah, it's just weird, you know. And what are they going to do this every year for
oh
just pick five more, you know?
right, right. What and like if you're gonna do this, save this for your 100th anniversary. It's in like 5 years.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I just like another moment that I would like to throw out that I just thought of personally is the ending of My Cousin Vinny, the final
Okay.
trial sequence. Um, it's like a very well written dialogue, and that was an Oscars movie. Marissa Tomei won for the performance, and she's a massive part of why that ending works, and why it's a very big cheer moment. Like that would have been better
Yeah.
than
I mean, you
Justice League.
could think
I
for
don't know.
days about you could just days throw out options and after option of just things that are
All right,
better
let me
than
look.
these five.
Let me
And
look.
you could,
I could
yeah,
make an argument
you
for
could,
Seven Samurai. Let's see what else is over here. Uh, like there's a. This is just making me sad. Um,
yeah,
can we give? Can we throw something to like? This is just me being like stuff the Oscars never do. Throw a portrait of a lady on fire. Like when
yeah.
like
The
when,
final performance in Whiplash is another one. Like,
yep,
yeah, they're
yep.
just,
Back to the Future, even
yeah, 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 yeah.
like
There are a lot that you could do.
really. This is this. I mean, yeah, that's. I don't know. What are you predicting?
I don't know. Probably, I would presume Spider Man would win. Like,
If it's opened up to
I
everything,
would,
I'm predicting Avengers. I'm predicting Avengers.
yeah. I mean, it could win, but equally, like, who's actually going to vote on this? Like, who cares? Even if I could
Yeah.
vote, I wouldn't vote. I don't care. And recency
I mean,
bias may play into it, and they may just see Spider Man No Way Home and go, yeah, we'll vote for that. And sure, whatever. Don't care, to be honest.
I'm gonna keep voting for Teton. I don't care.
Okay, keep trying, keep
I'll
trying.
just keep going for Teton. It'll happen eventually. Oh, okay. I'll throw in another cheer moment. The ending of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I know you weren't as big of a
Okay,
fan of that movie as I was, but I love those final moments. I think they work very well. Would have much rather seen it here than Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like I think The Matrix is a good pick. Like that's a very iconic moment, but just to have it paired with all these other four is weird. Like where did Dreamgirls come from?
I don't
Like
know. I really don't know. Yeah, the "It's Not Your
maybe
Fault"
like
scene from Good Will Hunting. That one,
yeah,
another really excellent moment.
yeah. Um, this is obviously more recent, but like if you want to do recent movies, two that I would suggest is the ending of Jojo Rabbit,
Yeah.
um, or the ending of Knives Out. If you have
Okay.
to go with
I
recent
mean,
films,
yeah, the pursuit of happiness when he gets the job and he's like,
yeah,
you know, so many things you could pick out.
yeah, I yeah. That I mean Paddington 2, the entire movie.
Yeah, just the entire movie.
Just very happy to see Paddington. Um,
Yeah, the Muppets Christmas Carol again, just the entire
yep, I was
movie,
gonna say that.
just
Yeah.
every single moment.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World has a couple of very fun moments. That's a. I mean, like I don't know.
Yeah.
There's like the original West Side Story. If you wanted to throw that, like, I mean, I was clapping during America. It wasn't like cheering, clapping, but I was, da 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 da.
Yes.
Like, I mean, there's so many better things. And, like, the
Yeah.
fact that you could pick from anything in the years span from 1999 to present is. All right, let's move
Yeah.
on to some
Disappointing.
questions.
Disappointing.
We'll do 2 questions this week, and we'll keep on with No, let's just keep going with it. Uh, can the Oscars be fixed? Because yeah. So let's talk about the category cuts. Earlier in the show, we talked about Martin McDonagh rose to prominence through winning live action short. Now look at him; he's made Oscars contenders. The Oscars decided that they're going to honor excellence in film and celebrate cinema unless you're a short filmmaker, because they've cut the short film categories from the live broadcast. They've also cut editing, editing,
Yeah.
score,
Mm.
sound, production
So,
design, and makeup and hair. This is so incredibly stupid. So I understand that they're going to be recorded before the show and then edited back in. So one, you're cutting editing and then asking editors to put it back. Like that in itself. Also, you're relegating these people. You're telling them that their categories aren't as important
mm.
as everybody else's to make room for stuff like Oscars cheer moment and Oscars fan favorite. And that's going to be part of the live broadcast. They aren't pre-recording that. Like if you were going to pre-record anything, have it be like the fake Oscars categories.
Yeah.
I did. I'm going to combust. Thomas, speak before I do so.
Right. Well, the question is, can the Oscars be fixed? And
There's nothing to fix.
sadly, in my opinion, no. The Oscars are, and award ceremonies in general, are sort of a dying industry, which is
Yep.
sad, tremendously sad. But doing this will make them die faster. They
Right.
are just, yeah. And
They're making
they're not even 9.23 million, which was how much they got last year, the Oscars. It's not even that bad. Yes,
it
it's
really isn't.
half of what they got in the year prior, but equally that's still not that bad.
And the movies nominated were all indies for the most part. So like
Exactly.
what do you expect? This year you have Dune and West Side Story and like all of these major Don't Look Up. Like
Yeah.
though they cut 5 categories that Dune's nominated for and might win. So I
Yeah.
don't know what they're.
I don't think you can fix it, but equally I don't think it needs fixing, to be honest. It just needs to realise that the Oscars is what it is. It is celebrating films. It is not
Right.
trying to appeal to people. People aren't going to be persuaded really to watch the Oscars.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, I think even the films that are in the Oscars don't really matter. Yes, they matter to some extent, but equally, just because one of your favorite films is nominated for Best Picture, you're not going to watch the Oscars just for that. You'll maybe
Watch
check in the morning.
a
Oh, did
clip
it
on
win?
YouTube.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. You're
Like
not going to watch the Oscars. So doing all of this stuff, cutting it out, making it more accessible, none of that's going to work.
so a couple of points to make. One, I believe the Oscar expert pointed this out that the Oscars still get more like views, more like it still gets better ratings, is what I should say, than like the finale of like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. So like people aren't saying that that's dying. It's
No,
like it's not like the Oscars is like dipping below. Like it's still one of the most viewed things every year. It's just not as big as it was because one, the way we're consuming media is changing. Not that many people have cable anymore. Like
no,
most people
exactly.
are like just streaming. Um, the Oscars need to like a great move for the Oscars would be the live stream on Disney Plus.
Or even just live stream on YouTube, to to be honest. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Like, I mean,
yeah,
well, they'd want to get paid for it somehow, but
yeah, that is true.
but like doing a Disney Plus live stream, I think it'd work. So like the SAG Awards are going to be available on HBO Max the next day. So like it isn't live, but still they're like putting it out on a major streamer. I think that works. Like I think that we should see like these major award ceremonies be doing more of that and getting streaming deals to do like you could do like concurrent streams between streaming services and cable. That way you're
Yeah,
reaching more people who don't have cable because like even if you look at something like the Grammys and the Emmys, which are like the Grammys are nominating, like, this year the Grammys have nominated Ariana Grande, Billie Eilish, Lady Gaga, like, some of the biggest names in the world, Justin Bieber, like, and they're still losing, right? They're still dropping
yeah,
in ratings because people don't care as much about award ceremonies. And if they do, they watch the clips on YouTube
yeah,
or they just look up an article to see who won. People don't care that much about like the actual ceremony anymore, which is okay.
exactly.
Like,
It's okay.
you're still going to have people who watch, and they are going to be the hardcore fans of film, TV, and music for the Grammys and the Emmys. Um, but what the are doing is they are alienating the hardcore fans. Like, this makes me want to watch the Oscars less. I'm obviously still
Yeah,
going to watch them, but as far as like my
yeah,
levels of how excited I am for the Oscars, this drops it. And
yeah,
based on every single person on film Twitter, um, it's done the same for them. So like, it's just like also who, as you said, like who who wasn't going to watch the Oscars saw the news. Oh hey, they aren't presenting editing live, and went, oh
yeah,
thank God, now that we aren't giving awards to editors, yuck. Now I'm
yeah,
going to watch the Oscars. Like no, that's not. Once again, that's probably going to be won by Dune, which is like one of the most popular films of the year. So I,
yeah. And you mentioned
it,
hardcore fans. Like, you would have had to have been a pretty hardcore fan to watch last year.
yeah,
And 9 point
nine
whatever
point
I said it
two
was 9.2 million
million.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got a lot of hardcore fans out there.
Right. And you're pulling in people now by having
Yeah.
stuff like Spider-Man and don't alienate your 9.2 million hardcore fans.
No,
That makes
exactly.
that makes no sense for them to do. Um like you should be about celebrating film and instead they're just trying to make money because they're sad. I mean,
Yeah.
and this is likely an ABC thing. Like
Yeah,
almost for
probably.
sure
Yeah.
an ABC thing. Which whatever. I just like I can't wait for their contract with ABC to be up though in Disney. Like so
Mm.
that way the Oscars
Yeah.
can create their own form of streaming. Like sign with a streaming service because it's just kind of ridiculous at this point. Um
And honestly, if they were reducing the runtime, I would get it at least. I would get it somewhat. You're reducing the runtime. Like, yeah, who wouldn't rather watch a show that's 2 hours compared to a show that's 3 hours? But they're not even reducing the screen time, which is what they said. So
yeah, they said it's
it
still gonna
just,
be 3 hours.
yeah, it's just more padding. They're not increasing the accessibility in any way. So
Yeah, like
there's
last
no
year's
point to doing this.
last year's show with 3 hours and 19 minutes. They stated that they have three hosts and they will be separated into three 1 hour long chunks.
Yeah. So great, you cut off 19 minutes. Big whoop.
And like it's supposed to be 3 hours every year and they always go over, so like is
Yeah.
it really going it's really like and this year we are actually going to have hosts and clips, like it might end up being longer than last year,
Yeah.
quite honestly. And Thomas, I was just looking, your numbers were even a little bit off. Last year got 10.4 million, according to what
Okay.
I'm just looking at now. So like
Okay.
it was still the least watched Oscars broadcast since 1974, but still 10.4 million people. I'm looking at the Nielsen ratings. I don't know which site you were.
I just searched up the first thing that came
Oh,
up.
okay.
I said Oscars viewership and it said 9.23.
Regardless, or we can say around 10 million.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people. I don't think that you have that much to say. Like Oscars clips on YouTube, like they do pretty well. Like
Yeah.
people check them out. People read articles. Like the Oscars are still one of the biggest things every year. Like everybody knows what the Oscars are.
Yeah.
Everybody. Like you could go up to like anybody in the US and they don't know what the Oscars are. The Oscars YouTube channel has 2.3 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. There you go.
or 2.25, whatever. But like that's kind of a lot of people. Like
Hmm.
just to throw that at, like that's a pretty successful YouTube channel. Just saying, and like this is just so dumb. It's just I will never understand why the Academy is trying to make people like they're chasing after an audience that isn't there,
Hmm. Yeah.
which is just
And they're killing an audience that are. So
yep. So I I don't know.
yeah.
We'll see how this ends up, but as of now, this is just it's not a good situation. I hope that the
No.
Oscars fixes this. Just like pay you want to celebrate cinema, pay your respects to the people who created it. I
Yeah.
mean, you wouldn't have any of your Oscars cheer moments without production design or sound or editing or score or like makeup and hair. Like you wouldn't have the
No.
filmmakers of today without short films. So like actually honor them. Don't tell them that they're less important because yeah, it's so incredibly stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about fun stuff. So Thomas, on the document, would you like to do question 2 or question 3? I want to save question 4. But
Okay. We can do question 2 probably.
all right, Benny Cumbers
Benny Cumberbatch.
versus how am I going to do this one? W. Smith.
Tony Smith. Okay.
The big W. So this is of course Benedict Cumberbatch and Will Smith. Andrew Garfield is kind of out of the race.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
unless he pulls off a miracle win at SAG this weekend, like he's pretty done. He's pretty done.
Yeah.
That BAFTA miss hurt. So
Yeah.
again, we'll have to see about SAG, but like he's kind of done. So that leaves us with Cumberbatch and Smith because Bardem, by some almighty power, is thankfully not winning anything, and Denzel is sadly not going to win anything. Because I thought that he was very, very good. But Benedict Cumberbatch, Will Smith. This is the debate that we've been having since like November. When I switched
Yeah.
over my prediction to Benedict Cumberbatch, you stuck with Will Smith. And now one of us is going to die on a hill. One of us
Okay.
going to take a bullet through the head standing on our 10-foot mounds of dirt. And which one of us will it be? Now you've said that if Cumberbatch takes SAG, then you'll be switching your prediction to Cumberbatch. If
100%. Yeah.
Will Smith wins BAFTA, then I'm definitely switching to Will Smith. And maybe even if he wins Critics' Choice, because I'm banking on Cumberbatch taking Critics' Choice and BAFTA, having a big day on, I think it's the 20th.
Yeah.
Because those are the same day now. That's gonna be a day for us. That's gonna be a day for us. Because PGA is the day before. That we'll be tired. But
Yeah.
which way is this leaning right now? Because Will Smith was assigned front runner status. Cumberbatch has won more precursors as far as critics groups. Will Smith did take Golden Globe. BAFTA's the best predictor. How is this race looking to you?
So I would still be predicting Will Smith. And I know we've looked at the ages of the two before, and they're actually fairly close in age. But
Yep.
Will Smith is carrying this overdue storyline in a way Benedict Cumberbatch isn't. Like, no one's looking at Benedict Cumberbatch and thinking, yeah, he's overdue an Oscar. Whilst, yeah, you might believe that. That might be your opinion. But equally, that's not the storyline he's going with. That is the storyline Will Smith is playing off of. The fact that he definitely should have won in 2006 with The Pursuit of Happiness. And he is
Ali before.
massively, yeah,
Ali.
Ali before that as well. He is definitely overdue an Oscar. And yeah, there was a reason he was assigned this status, like from the very start. That yeah, he's the front runner. Of course, he's the front runner. Sure,
Yeah.
he's open to an upset, but equally, the winner Golden Globes. Hopefully, he wins at SAG here. I don't know if BAFTA, Best Actress didn't predict any that would end up being nominated for Oscars. Potentially, we're seeing BAFTA lean more towards the independent side. We saw a lot of independent British films get nominated. Potentially, BAFTA at this point isn't the best predictor of the acting
Okay, but
categories at the.
okay, I'm gonna make a counterpoint. Last year they went even heavier with the British independent stuff, and they still predicted the correct Oscar winner and actor, and
They
it was
did.
upset at that.
Okay. Equally,
Like,
was Benedict Cumberbatch like as good as Anthony Hopkins?
no,
No,
but he's picking
nowhere
up a lot
close.
of the same critics award. Like, he's picking up even more critics awards than Hopkins was. He's picking up more industry support than Hopkins was. Like, The Power of the Dog is winning Best Picture, Director, and Screenplay. The Father barely got into picture and upset a screenplay win. Like, he's in a stronger movie. He's winning more precursors. And if he wins BAFTA, like, even though, like, yes, Hopkins was much better, but he had to also had to overcome a lot more to pull off his upset. Cumberbatch is still very good, and he's like all of the like all the check marks are just even are checked with a deeper shade of green. Like, I'm trying to do analogies, but like he's stronger, I think, than Hopkins was.
Right. Okay. Do you also think there's a point to be made about the Oscars sharing the love within these sorts of categories? Because do you really see Power of the Dog as a film that takes home what 5, maybe 6 awards?
I would
It
like
doesn't
it too.
feel like it doesn't feel like that movie. It feels like a movie that will take home a lot, but like, will Benedict Cumberbatch come along with it? I don't know. And if King
Picture this.
Richard doesn't win here, that it won't win anything. And
Picture
I
this.
feel they will want to give King Richard something, and here it will be.
Kotzer wins supporting actor. Cumberbatch wins actor. There's Power of the Dog's acting win. And then it is
There is
just
Power of the Dog
Nomadland.
acting.
And then it's Nomadland. Like,
Yeah, but equally,
with the
I
leading win.
I don't buy the fact Cots is going to win. Like,
I don't know.
I would much more like easily see Cody and Benedict winning than Kotzer and Cumberbatch winning. Because,
Here's
like, yeah, I don't see that happening.
okay. I'm not predicting it. I'm still standing by, like, for SAG. I'm still standing by the time this comes out, it might be after SAG. But like, we're recording this the day of SAG. And I'm sticking by my prediction of Cody for SAG. Everybody's predicting Kotzer. When I say everybody, I mean literally everybody. The entire Next Best Picture team, like, is predicting Kotzer. I believe the Oscar expert was, like, everybody in our comments, like, with a few exceptions. Everybody is going for Kotzer. If he wins SAG, he's might just be Yoon Jung and just steal the supporting category. I think that there's so much more support and want for him to win over Cody, because this is probably going to be Troy Kotzer's only shot at an Oscar. Like, just
Yeah,
with how all the stars aligned. Cody Smith McPhee is still, like, in his early 20s. It would be weird giving
but
him the award.
how many more times will we see Paul Raci win an Oscar? And he didn't win last year. It was Daniel Kaluuya, who was also in his 20s. So I
I
would
think that
say,
Daniel Kaluuya had a much stronger narrative, though. Daniel Kaluuya swept. If
but Cody
Cody,
is sweeping.
he won the Golden Globe,
And every other critic she's before
I'm
then,
saying if Kotzer wins SAG, Cody isn't sweeping
which
anymore.
no, but I don't think Cox will win SAG. This is a conversation that'll be very interesting later down the line. I think it is potentially a little too early to be having it, Cumberbatch
Yeah,
versus Smith, because, we need to see SAG, we need to see BAFTA, we need to see Critics' Choice.
yeah.
I'm under the impression we will see each of them take home 2. So Smith will have
We
Globes
agree
and
on that.
SAG,
We agree on that.
Cumberbatch will have BAFTA, Critics' Choice. And I don't know. It's going to be close. I just see Will Smith. The narrative is better. The narrative is so much better. And
I agree.
again, I mentioned it before. The Oscars have to, like, politics does play into the Oscars. How would it look if that's the second year in a row they have basically snubbed a black actor for a white one? That doesn't look good. That looks terrible. Even.
I think that last year they showed that they don't care about politics. If they cared about politics, then like Anthony Hopkins wouldn't have a third Oscar or second.
Yeah,
But
but
like
I
if they
think it
cared,
would look dreadful. It would look
it
bad.
wouldn't look the best. No, but again, if they cared about politics, then that wouldn't be like they showed last year that they do not care. If they cared in the slightest, it would have been Boseman. I mean, I don't know, and like it's weird to me that Will Smith does have the overdue narrative because he was nominated twice before. Like he has one more career nomination than Cumberbatch does. One more. So like
Yeah.
that isn't the biggest thing. He's only like 5-10 years older. Like it's just weird to me that Will Smith has been assigned this. Much preferred Cumberbatch performance. Like Will Smith is probably my fourth favorite performance out of the nominees. In all honesty, I'd personally put Cumberbatch, Garfield, and Denzel above him.
Okay. See, I'd put him second, only behind Garfield.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we agree that Garfield should be winning. Like
Yeah.
he's very
Yeah.
good. But yeah, this conversation will actually, I'm very curious to see how this conversation ages looking back on it after
Yeah.
we see SAG, because
Yeah.
SAG is in less than 12 hours at this point. So that video will
Hmm.
probably be out before this one,
Yeah.
depending on how much time I edit.
Yeah.
So this will be a very interesting conversation. As of
Yeah.
now, sticking with Cumberbatch, you're sticking with Will Smith.
Yeah.
Our
I
first
will
Oscar.
say, yeah. I will say, narrative, it may be weird, it may not be deserving, but you can't argue the narrative for Will Smith is still there. Whether
It's
it's
definitely still
deserved,
there.
it's still there.
To make a counterpoint, all of the big narratives have dropped so far. Belfast was supposed to win earlier. That dropped. Stewart was supposed to win earlier in the year. That dropped.
Doesn't that
Will
show you
Smith is
Will
the
Smith's
last one
strength, though?
standing.
It
Will
shows
Smith,
you his strength, though.
does it, or does it mean that he's about to drop once Cumberbatch like takes some credit? Like I don't know. This will be
We'll
weird.
see.
It'll be weird, but like, yeah, this is it's a very interesting conversation to have. We will have our first Oscars predictions next week or so,
Yes. Yeah.
sometime around a week from now. And then so that will be post SAG, and then we'll do a final update after we get DGA, PGA, BAFTA, and Critics' Choice,
Yeah.
and WGA. So after we get all the rest of the big ones, that is the show, everybody.
That
Thank
is
you
the show.
so much for watching. Thomas, where can they find you?
You can find me at Payments Pictures. Not released much in there recently. Stuff coming.
Yes.
And then on Letterbox at Thomas Gladstone.
You can find me Letterboxd at Trevor Matson, YouTube at not the basement at the YouTube at the basement, Twitter at TM Talks Movies, and Letterboxd at Trevor Matson. I think I already said one of those things, and then also the Banana Meter. I'm confused, but thank you everybody so much for watching. SAG content is coming. Enjoy.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. We're thank you everybody for watching. Until next time, stay safe.